Jets, I hear them say it now.
Jet, white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win tonight. White, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, I am your host, Joe Skirto, aka Turn Up the Jets. Before we get into the Week 1 preview video, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you have, much appreciated. If you are new, welcome. Also, like the video if you actually liked it, and you can follow me on X and Instagram at Turn Up Jets, all one word. So go check me out on those social media platforms. Yes, finally, Week 1 is here. We can stop talking about it. We can stop predicting. We can stop jumping to conclusions of what the Jets season is going to look like. We are going to see them live just in 2 days, as it's Saturday night here. It's NFL Football Sunday Eve. Of course, the New York Jets go and host the Buffalo Bills Monday night on 9/11. Huge game, obviously. It all starts with Aaron Rodgers, of course, making his New York Jets debut, along with other Jets. Really like Dalvin Cook, Alan Lazard, Cole Hardman, Randall Cobb. List goes on. A lot of new faces, but a lot of familiar faces as well, especially on the defensive side, which will be a huge key to stopping Josh Allen and putting Rodgers in a good place. That way, you give him a shot and let him do the rest. And for this video, we're going to go to the key matchups, keys to victory, and also we'll make my prediction. So basically a quick preview. Of course, it's hard to preview a game when there's no stats, really. You kind of have to look at really into last season. And, of course, both of these teams are going to be completely different going into 2023. Obviously, the Jets, because obviously they now have Aaron Rodgers. And with the Buffalo Bills, they didn't make a ton of new additions. Not really, most notably, they did lose some. Well, they did sign Connor McGovern, not our Connor McGovern, the left guard Connor McGovern. I think that was a big addition for them. But other than that, defense pretty similar. They lost Edmonds, but kind of kept their band together, as well as the Jets. Of course, Von Miller will not be playing. He's been put on the PUP list. He'll be out for 4 weeks. For the Jets, there's not really any notable injuries. I know Micah Hyde, as well, the safety for the Buffalo Bills, is questionable. Apparently he has a back injury, I believe it is. So he's obviously a huge piece for that defense and for the Jets, like I was mentioning. No notable injuries, which is huge. Becton was battling an illness. He participated fully practice. Breece Hall is a full go. Dalvin Cook, a full go. So they're going to have a full healthy team. And, of course, Dwayne Brown as well. He will be starting left tackle. And hopefully they can stay healthy. That's going to be huge key for this Jets team. And key matchups you're looking into, right? I think I'm going to start off. It's Diggs versus Sauce Gardner. I think that is a huge matchup. I don't know if he will be lined up on him the entire game. I know that Diggs they kind of win at Sauce with Diggs the first time they met, and then Diggs was basically non-existent for the second half. And DJ Reed had a really good game. Of course, Sauce kind of, rebounded and had a really good game as well. The second game, it was kind of a similar thing. Then Diggs didn't really take over either game, and that's what the Jets need to do in order to stop this offense, because it's really good. I know we say after Diggs, who's the next guy? I do expect Gabe Davis to have a better year. He battled injuries. Of course, he was kind of overhyped anyway to last season. He still pulled off almost 800 yards. So I will look at Gabe Davis, but it all starts with Stephon Diggs. And with Sauce versus Diggs, I mean, that is just really a Goliath versus Goliath type of matchup. Obviously, Sauce Gardner was an all-pro, rookie of the year, Pro Bowler, a historical rookie season, especially for a DB. He was the first DB named all-pro as a rookie since Ronnie Lott, which was a long time ago. I think it was 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a long time. So he had a historic rookie season, and I expect him to be even better. And, of course, Diggs is probably a, top 5, top 6 wide receiver. So you have to stop him. Let the other weapons beat you. Let the running backs beat you. You do not want to get beat by Diggs because that's when their offense is most dangerous. Stephon Diggs, of course, had another good year last season. Pulling up his stats right now. I should have had him. He had 11 touchdowns, 1,400 yards, 108 receptions. So he had more yards, receptions, and touchdowns last year than he did the year before. The dude just gets better and better. I know there's been some drama surrounding him and surrounding if he's happy with the team. I did see him, the video or the interview, rather, the Pat McAfee show that he was on. Seems like he's all happy and he's very excited for the year. So I don't think that is going to play a factor at all. He has the C on his chest, and I expect Allen to really try to target him heavy. And Sauce is going to have to make a name for himself. Whether it's Sauce or DJ Reed, but that is definitely a matchup that the Jets need Sauce to win, and they need to really just keep him away from taking over the game because he can do it single-handedly. He is that good. I think the offensive line for the Bills and the defensive line for the Jets is also another Goliath matchup. I know the Bills defense, they gave up 33 sacks last year. It's nothing too crazy. I think Fields led the league with 55. So 22 more sacks than the guy who finished first. So kind of in the middle of the pack, but the Jets defensive line, we know how deep it is. You know, it starts with Quinton Williams, obviously. Carl Lawson is a guy who is battling injuries. He also will be good to go. So that's huge. You got him, you got JFM, you have Al Woods, you have it just goes on. You have McDonald, you have Jermaine Johnson, you have Jefferson, you have am I forgetting somebody? There's Bryce Hoff. They're so deep. And the left side is really good, though, for the Bills. You have Dawkins at left tackle, as I mentioned earlier, McGovern at left guard, and then, of course, Morse at center. So that whole side is really strong. So, you know, the Jets are going to have to get pressure on Allen. They have to make him feel uncomfortable. They did a great job of both games last year for really disrupting this offensive line and really just making Allen's life a living hell. Like, literally, he did not play well at all. It's probably his two worst games last year in terms of stats. Had to be both against the Jets because they got that pressure to him. So I feel if the Jets can do that and make Allen uncomfortable, that's another huge thing. It's just basically you're knocking off Diggs, you're knocking off Allen. You need to knock off one of those guys. But that is a huge key matchup there for the Jets. And, of course, for the Bills need to prevent this Jets defense of wreaking havoc and taking over the game because they did both games last year, especially when they met the first time around at MetLife when they defeated the Bills. They do not want that to happen again. Allen actually got hurt that game. That was the game he hurt his elbow on that very notable play at the end of the game with Bryce Huff kind of knocked it out of his arm. He fumbled it on that last drive of the game. So they got to keep that guy healthy. They do. He was really never – I wouldn't say never the same. That injury definitely impacted him last season, in my opinion. People kind of just wipe it under the rug because they expect all the good stuff when it comes to Josh Allen, kind of like Rodgers too. Everyone wiped that under the rug as well. He also basically fractured his thumb. So not a thumb injury and a elbow injury to a quarterback is extremely crucial. So I think he was a little asterisk on there of, you know, Allen last year, 35 touchdowns, 14 receptions. 14 is a lot. But again, I put an asterisk there because his elbow wasn't great. I mean, he sprained his UCL, I think, and that does not feel good, especially when you rely on the arm strength like a quarterback like Josh Allen. But, of course, the Bills of the offensive line would want to do a much better job, but this Jets defense and this Jets defensive line is even better than it was last year because you got the both former Seahawks and Jefferson and Al Woods. You brought in Will McDonald. You drafted him in the first round. Another year of Jermaine Johnson developing. I think this is his breakout season. Kind of eased him into things last year. Same with Bryce Huff. I think Huff's going to be improved as well. Quinnen has his money. He's hungry. He's going to be fantastic, I expect. And yeah, I think they're just going to have a better defensive line. If you really think about it, the most notable one, and Solomon Thomas too. How would I forget about him when I was talking? But really, Sheldon Rank is like the only guy they like the only key piece from last year that they lost. So this defensive line is loaded. The Bills know that. But the Jets also know this is a good left side, so it's not going to be easy. But they do need to get Josh Allen, and the Bills do need to protect Josh Allen. That is a huge, huge key matchup. And then I guess the last key matchup for me would probably be, I would say probably Wilson versus Tre'Davious White. I think that is going to be one that I'm watching as well, similar to the Diggs versus Sauce Gardner. It's kind of reversed now. Wilson, great rookie year, is going against a wily veteran, well, not wily vet, but a experienced vet, I would say, Tre'Davious White, who has been riddled with injuries, especially last season. Just didn't really have plenty of opportunity because injuries weighed his season down. He should be, uh, to my knowledge, fully healthy. He is starting. He will be going against Garrett Wilson, I assume. It would be interesting to see what they do. I don't know what style of defense they run. I know the Jets corners typically stay on one side. I don't know if they're going to move White around. If I was the Bills, I probably would. I probably would pair him up the entire game on Garrett Wilson and let Allen Lazard beat you. Let Nicole Hardman beat you. Let the tight ends beat you. Don't let Garrett Wilson beat you. It's the same scenario as it was from Diggs to Sauce with Wilson and White, but White is no slouch either. He's a multi-time Pro Bowler, all pro type corner, one of the best in the league when healthy, and he's kind of almost a little forgotten because of last season being injured. But fully healthy, I expect him to be a superstar again. And this is really the year that we expect that Garrett Wilson is going to up his game and become a solidified superstar, as he showed lots of flashes. Of course, one rookie of the year, had over 1,100 yards with 4 different quarterbacks, 4 touchdowns. Expect that number to go higher with Rodgers. I expect all those numbers, receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns, all of those should increase, I think, significantly with Aaron Rodgers. Sky is the limit for Garrett Wilson, but you got to get him involved early. And I know Rodgers is going to try to, and for the Bills' sake, they're going to have to try to avoid that and hope that their Pro Bowl superstar corner is up to the task of following along Garrett Wilson. I expect those two to go at it all game. So the key to victory here, I was going to do 3. I'm just going to do 1 here. It's simple. It's keep Aaron Rodgers upright. That might be the key to every single game this season. That might be the key to this whole entire season in general. Like, the one key of this season would be to keep Aaron Rodgers upright. Don't let your golden boy get hit. Don't risk anything. I'm not even going to mention those words, but you got to keep him upright. You brought him in here to make an impact because he had everything. Well, they believed that they had everything, but the missing piece was a quarterback. They didn't just get a quarterback. They got a 4-time MVP, a Super Bowl winning and Super Bowl MVP type of guy. So this is no slouch. This is Aaron Rodgers, a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion, probably of all time. You could definitely make the argument. I'm not going to sit here and say my list. I would say when it comes to my head, yeah, he could be top 5, but I think he could definitely be top 5 if he gets another ring on his finger, obviously. But keep him upright. If you want that, you got to keep him upright, because not only that, not only, not getting him hit, but just you need him to affect the game. You got him to be that missing piece. So let him have a chance. So it's a really simple key. I know it's not really outside the box, but you have to. I can't stress it anymore. I mean, I know every Jets fan is going to be thinking the same thing. We have talked about the offensive line all year, literally all year. All offseason. I'm sorry. All offseason. We've been saying, is this offensive line good enough? Should we be worried? Blah, 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 blah. They're healthy. They haven't been healthy all offseason. They got healthy at the right time. They got their starting 5 with Becton, AVT, McGovern, Tomlinson, and of course Dwayne Brown. Now let's see what the guys can do. I'm a little nervous because they haven't really. Those 5 have not played any game action, of course, together as a unit. The other 4 did, obviously, but Dwayne Brown has not. I'm sure they've had plenty of reps this week in practice, but it might be a little. It might take a little, but even if it does take a little, they got to keep their guy upright. And those guys got to stay healthy too. So that's a big thing. And I just really hope that narrative is erased, because I'm sick of hearing it on ESPN every day when you talk about the Jets. But then it's always that one guy, or always the 2 or 3 people say, hey, well, what about their offensive line? I'm nervous about their offensive line. They haven't played a game yet. We have not seen these 5 guys take a snap together. So let's see it, and let's see how it looks. They're healthy. And I think this would be huge. If Rodgers, if they don't get Rodgers sacked, like, imagine how unbelievable that will be. It would be hard for me to say the Jets don't win if Rodgers, the Jets would have to win if Rodgers doesn't get sacked once. I mean, you always expect at least one, but if they can do that, man, they will erase that narrative fast. We're on to the prediction. It's kind of funny because I did already predict my wins and losses, but it's probably going to be different. Like, of course, I'm not going to pick every game that I picked preseason because things change. But I will keep my pick here. I am picking the Jets to win this game. I'm going to take them 23-20. Not going to hold my breath, but I do expect the Jets to win this. I just think, how in the world do you get on this stage and had all this hype all year, all offseason? Why am I keep saying year? All offseason. Sorry, I'm kind of thrown off by this. This is not my regular setup. All offseason, we've been talking about this stinking team. All offseason. Let's do it now. I'm tired of hearing people talk about what they can and what they can't be, the predictions, all of that shit. Let's do it now. This is the time. How in the world would they, how do you lose this game? Monday night, 9/11, Rodgers debut. There's so many scenarios. Bills, Jets, everything. These are the top dogs that could be competing for the division. Heck, even the AFC if everything goes well. So it's just hard for me to pick against them. I know way back when the schedule released, I actually picked them to lose this game. I am definitely, going full circle here, taking the Jets. Both running backs should be healthy. Everyone's healthy. That's key. If Micah Hyde is out, that is going to be a big blow. I have not looked of what his status is. I'm going to end the video off by looking at what his status is. The Bills, Micah Hyde status revealed. Doesn't really give me much. Bills, Micah Hyde gets crucial update. Sustained back injury. Fortunately, it looks like that issue isn't as serious. So he probably will play. But that's definitely something to keep an eye on. A back injury is nothing to fool around with. But yeah, I don't think many Jets fans would like if I picked against the Jets week 1. I just can't do it. I'll be there. I can't think of imagine if I pick them to lose and they win. Hey, will there be games that pick them to lose? Of course. It's not this one. It's not. It's at home. If their team is as good as advertised, as good as on paper, they should be fine. And I think on paper, they're a better looking team than Buffalo. As crazy as that sounds, on paper, no stats. I think they're very close, but I think you could argue the Jets have a better roster. They're definitely deeper in some of the parts, and of course, the Bills are deeper in other parts too. So. But yep, 23-20. I'm going to give Rodgers 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson catch the 2 touchdowns. I think Dalvin Cook is going to be the guy. I know Breece Hall is healthy, but I think he's going to be the guy who gets more carries. I think he will out-carry Breece Hall. I see Breece Hall maybe getting anywhere between 8 to 11 carries maybe. Dalvin Cook is definitely going to get 11 plus. I can't see Breece Hall out-carrying him unless Breece is just beasting out and getting 20 yards a carry, which that could happen. So that will be an interesting situation to monitor. Taking these guys in fantasy is going to be tough week 1. I think it will kind of play itself out throughout the year, but it's going to be a tough one to call whether you start Dalvin, Breece, or neither. The betting line, though, it is, I believe, still 2.5. And the Jets are a plus 114 money line. Yes, I will be taking that. And go Jets. Man, I will be making a recap video hopefully on Tuesday when I get back here. I'll still be in this space, so bear with me. I will have my studio back soon. And yeah, I mean, everyone enjoy the game. Enjoy football Sunday. I'm so excited to be at the game. Hopefully I can meet some Jets fans, maybe some content creators. I don't know. I'm not really in that circle. I would like to be, though. So maybe I could see some of the most known ones that I see and support on YouTube. But appreciate you watching. Joe Skirter here. Turn up the Jets. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Much appreciate all the support. Follow me on X, Instagram, at Turn Up the Jets. All one word. Everybody, football is back. Let's go. Jets football is back. The most anticipated Jets season ever. Let's just say it, ever. So enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy Monday. Let's go. See ya.
Jets, I hear them say it now.